Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and start in child's pose. If you guys don't have any questions or anything, we'll just get started. So bring the big toes together, knees are separated. Stretch the arms out in front of you and just start to find your breath here. I want to kind of bring and weave through our practice tonight, talking about the physical muscle of the psoas and also balance. They go hand in hand. And I'll explain in a minute and even show you the psoas muscle and where it is. But for now, as you breathe, I want you to feel balance in the breath, belly, chest, filling the lungs in the front and the back of the body. Feeling that balance and evenness when you inhale, travel up the spine and then down as you exhale. And maybe just take a moment to ask yourself what it is that you need to feel balanced in your day, whether it's physically or mentally. Just one small thing. Even if it is just taking this few moments for deep breathing to find your balance. Another breath or two. And then we're going to walk the hands to the right. So you can lift the torso just a little bit. So you can walk the hands far to the right and soften towards the floor. Keeping with that same breathing pattern, just a slow, steady breath. Inhale, lift, slowly walk the hands to the left. Try to walk far enough so you can feel the stretch happening in the right side of the body down to the hip. Soften towards the floor, find your breath. Inhale, come up, walk back to center. You're gonna come up to your knees and we're just gonna do a gate pose side stretch today. If being on the knees is uncomfortable, you can fold the mat to get some more cushion, or if you have a blanket nearby, you can put that underneath the knees. We're gonna go ahead and stay on the left knee, bring the right leg out to the side, toes pointing up. And then we're gonna keep the right hand on the right leg. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, slide the right hand down, lean to the right. One full breath here. Inhale back to center. Exhale down. Bring this, bend the knee, and then bring this right knee forward. We're actually gonna do a twist here as well. So we're just gonna take the outside of the left hand and put it on the outside of the right knee. And then we're just gonna twist by bringing our right arm behind the back. So I think you can see that here. Yeah. And just go ahead and press the right shoulder back. You can look over the right shoulder or keep the chin over the chest. As long as you're not crunching the shoulders by the ears, keeping the chest lifted. Next exhalation, come back to center. We're gonna come down on the right knee and then raise the left leg, bring it out to the side for a gate pose on the left leg. So toes pointing up, this leg is active. Left hand stays on top of the thigh. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, lean to the left. Lean enough so maybe you feel a stretch on the inner left thigh and the adductors, as well as the right side of the body. Sometimes we have a tendency to go down here, try to keep the shoulders open, the chest lifted. One more breath. Inhale back to center, exhale the hand down. Bend the left knee, bring it to the front, and then right hand to the outside of the left knee. Left arm goes behind you, inhale, lift. Exhale, come into a twist here. By pressing the top of the right hand into the knee, that'll help you lift the chest and come into the twist. Next exhalation, come back to center. And then we're gonna go ahead and come down to hands and knees and do our Betalasana. So as you're doing the Betalasana, I'm gonna go grab my skeleton because I wanna show you guys a couple of things. So just go ahead and start warming up the spine. But really, as you're doing this, I want you to do deep shoulder stretches and then move the hips around a little bit. Add a lot of movement to this today. And you can do it while still staying with your breath. Go ahead and continue with that while I get Jack Skellington over here. Bet you weren't expecting science class today. I'll let you go a couple more rounds and then come back to a neutral spine. Go ahead and come back to tabletop, back to a flat back. So there's a very specific reason that one of our signature classes is an alignment class. It's because I love talking about alignment in the body. So the psoas muscle is actually the muscle that is responsible for humans walking upright. It's very deep, it's very strong. It starts on the back lower lumbar here, and it wraps all the way around the pelvis, and it attaches to the femur head. There's actually a big one and a little one. So when we do these stretches today, which you've done some of them before, we're getting really deep into the psoas. It's a lot of the times very uncomfortable to stretch, but we're gonna go for it. And it kind of goes with our thing with balance, releasing the psoas, using it to balance. We'll do some standing postures for balancing. All right, so go ahead and come up into downward facing dog. Curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back. Walk the feet out. And again here, you can just maybe even bring the legs together and just move the hips back and forth. We'll walk it out. Another breath or two. And then come back down to your knees and come down to forearms. And the first thing we're gonna do is separate the knees. And we're gonna open up the legs that way. So it will look something like doing the splits, but on our knees. And start to drop the belly towards the floor. Good. Once you feel okay here, see if you can start walking the hands down, getting the chest down to the floor. If not, that's okay. Stay with the hands interlaced. But if you can get the chest and chin down to the floor, stay there for a couple of breaths. Try to take one more and then start to come out of it by first lifting the torso safely with the hands, bringing the knees back together. Good. We're going to bring the right leg forward, coming into lizard pose. So if there's one pose that gets you right into the psoas, it's this one. So we're going to kind of soften the left hip forward. And then we're gonna bring the right hand to the inside of the leg and we're gonna walk the right leg out to the side. The back leg is gonna be as straight as it can be. So we're on the inside of the right foot, try to get that back leg straight. You're gonna either stay here, or if you feel like you have the flexibility, you can come down to the forearms. And this right leg will tilt out to the side. The right foot is gonna lift, and that's okay. If you're not comfortable going down all the way to your forearms, stay on your hands. Maybe take 3 to 5 breaths on the hands, and then come down to your forearms. Don't forget to breathe here. The breath is what will release wherever you're feeling the tightness right now. We're going to take this into a pigeon pose. So Ekapada Rajakapotasana. On the exhale, drop your right knee. You're going to have to move your hand, but drop your right knee out to the side. And then lower the pelvis down towards the mat. Uncurl the back toes. We're going to stay here for a moment, shoulders away from the ears. The pelvis is even. If your hip is tight and the right sitting bone is really high, then you're going to need to shove something under there. Okay, otherwise rock a little bit and just try to find the balance of the pelvis. When you're ready, you can go down to your forearms, maybe. Stay here. Keep the neck nice and long. Maybe you go all the way down. Maybe you stack the fists and rest your head. You can also rest your forehead on a block to support the neck. And we'll stay here for a good 10 breaths. Good. See, once I see somebody in pigeon, then I know their flexibility in the hips. And we can address that accordingly. And all of you guys are all the way down, so. This is where you surrender. This is where you let go of your day. You let it out of your hips. You let it just out of the mind. You let it go with the breath. Take another breath or two here and then slowly start to walk your hands towards the body, lifting the upper torso. So now we're sitting up in our pigeon, and we're gonna reach for the back leg. If you don't get the back leg today, that's okay. An option is always to use a strap as well. But if you don't reach the back leg today, you're just gonna put it back down. So here we are, we're gonna bend the back leg. The right hand will have to come to the inside of the knee again. And with a straight arm, thumb pointing down, you're gonna reach for that foot. Reaching for the ankle is even better. Find your breath here. If you feel solid, if you feel good here, you can balance and bring the right arm up. One more breath. Release the left leg. Curl the left toes under, lifting the back knee. We're gonna come into downward facing dog, nice and slow here. We'll walk the feet out. With the right leg, you can bend the knee and do big circles. Just big whooshy circles with the knee. both directions. Good. And then come back down to your knees. We're gonna bring that left leg forward, starting lizard on the other side. So both of the hands are on the inside of the left foot. You can walk the left foot out towards the edge of the mat. Begin to straighten the back leg and drop the right hip flexor and the front of the right leg towards the mat. Shoulders are still away from the ears. You can let the left leg roll out to the side and see where you are here. Maybe you can go down to your forearms. Maybe you can go all the way down. But take your time in doing so. Even notice where you feel, if you can feel that psoas muscle. If you're feeling a super deep, uncomfortable stretch in the hip area, then boom, you got it. That's it. And it seems like some of you are a little bit tighter on this side, or maybe even more flexible on this side. We're gonna get ready to drop into our pigeon pose here. So on your next exhalation, adjust your hands so that you can drop that left knee out to the side. Externally rotate the left leg. And then straighten the right leg behind you. Creep the toes back as far as you can. And of course, the right leg needs to be internally rotated. So it will look like the toes are pointing in towards the body and not out. So for pigeon, always toes folding in and never out. Find your breath here. When you're ready to go down all the way, you can, or you can stay exactly where you are. Feel everything release every time you exhale and move into the posture deeper with the breath. So the heel can be close to the groin if it needs to be. If you're able and have the flexibility to straighten the left bottom part of the leg out more, you can. Imagine those muscles around the hips unraveling when you exhale. Whatever it is that you're storing in your junk drawer, in the hips, let it go here. Another breath or two, and then begin to walk the hands towards the body, lifting the torso. Take your time lifting. And then when you're ready, go ahead and bend the back leg. And see where you are here. If you can reach and grab that foot or ankle, go ahead and do that with the arms straight, chest lifted. Take a couple of breaths here. If you feel you have that balance to bring the left arm up, go ahead and do that. And then go ahead and release. Both hands down to the mat, Curl the back toes under, lift the knee, and then return to downward facing dog. Walk that out. I should have had you guys feel your one leg before doing the other one. Probably would have felt way longer. Do circles with the left leg if that feels good on your hip right now. Both directions. Good. So being still in the down dog here for just a moment, pressing the roots of the fingers into the mat, lengthening the arms, lengthening through the tailbone, bending the knees if you have to, curling the buttocks up towards the ceiling, and dropping the head so the ears are at the inner arms. We're gonna take the right leg forward. So just bring the right foot forward, and then drop the back heel to the floor. We're gonna be in Parsvatanasana here. So normally we don't come into this posture this way. Normally we come into it from up here. So if your knee is bending a little bit, that's okay. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. And see if you can just work on adjusting, bringing the right hip back. And then if you feel like when you exhale, you can fold a little bit more, just try it. Otherwise, stay with the fingertips. And then we're gonna bend the knee, bring the hands back to the mat, and return to downward facing dog. You guys are gonna be like 6 inches taller after we're done with all this leg stuff. Go ahead and bring your left leg forward. Good. And then straighten the front leg, straighten the front knee. So your feet will be on railroad tracks. Once you drop the back heel. Good. And so you're continuously trying to deepen that left hip crease, keeping the pelvis even and lifting the chest. Good, take another breath here. And then bend the front knee. We're gonna bring both feet together. So if you could shift your weight forward a little bit so you can bring both feet together. Good, come to the front of your mat. And we're gonna fold forward in Uttanasana here for a moment. So even separate the feet, get the legs nice and strong. And hang forward, getting the belly as close to the thighs as possible. Bending the knees if you have to. And then if you're grabbing your elbows, bring the fingertips back to the mat. We're gonna inhale and come all the way up. And then exhale, bring the hands in front of the heart. A couple of rounds, 1 or 2 rounds of Surya Namaskar B. We'll see how it goes. We'll go slow at first. So bend. And Coley, I don't know if you noticed, but like the last 2 classes, I didn't have any chair poses in there. It's a break. Fingertips pointing down. Weight is in the back of the body. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step back and lower into Chaturanga. Elbows pointing straight back. Go all the way down to the ground at first. Uncurl the toes. Inhale, you can lift into Cobra here or go up into upward facing dog, your choice. Curl the toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left toes out. Bring the right foot forward. We're gonna inhale and come up to Warrior One. Just on an inhale. And then we'll exhale, come back down to Chaturanga. Inhale up, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, take it back. Right toes out, left foot forward. Inhale all the way up, warrior one, front knee is bent. Exhale, take it down, chaturanga. Remember, you can always use your knees. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, take it back. Downward dog for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look up, get to the front of your mat. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, inhale, arms all the way up, so coming back to chair. And then exhale, back to Tadasana. Let's do it one more time. Bend the knees, inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step back. Chaturanga down. Inhale up. Engage the lower belly. Exhale, down dog. Left toes out, right foot forward. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, down, chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale back. Right toes out, left foot forward. Inhale up. Exhale down, chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale, take it back. 5 breaths here. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful down dogs. 4, 5. Inhale, look up, step forward, get to the front of your mat. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Keep the knees bent as you inhale, arms up to chair. And then exhale back to a standing position, back to Tadasana. Good. All right, we're gonna use the wall here. We're gonna do triangle pose, and we're gonna do it more than once. So the first time, I want you to grab your block if you have it. If you don't use a block for triangle pose, that's okay. You know, I'm not gonna force you. So make sure you guys can see me here. So we're gonna do it against the wall so that we can really feel the balance of the shoulders being stacked like we're in between 2 panes of glass. So you're only gonna be a couple inches away from the wall. Go ahead and separate the feet. We're gonna start on the right foot, so have your block on the right side of the body. Bring the right toes out 90 degrees. Place your block on the outside of the foot. So that'll be like the only, you know, couple inches in between the foot and the wall. Your block will be right there. Remember, the back toes are in just a little bit. And we're lined up heel to arch for the baseline here, the center line. Deepen the right groin. Lengthen with the right arm, reaching out. And then exhale, come down to your block. And just notice for a minute, before you even bring that left hand up, notice what parts of the body are touching the wall. Okay, rotate the shoulder girdle open. And then bring the left fingertips up. And if your shoulder blades are not touching the wall, adjust accordingly. So your right shoulder blade at the least should be opened up towards the wall. Good. Do you guys feel it? Jesse, you might need to rotate your whole torso closer to the wall. Yeah. And then Barbara, it looks like your left toes might need to come towards your face a little bit. Yeah. Coley, you feel okay? Good? All right. If you can go further down and grab the toes, go ahead and go further down. Otherwise, stay where you are. We're going to take one more breath here. Try to remember this feeling of how open you are right now and what that alignment really takes. Press the feet into the floor to safely pop yourself back up to a standing position. Bring the right toes in. Grab your block. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to watch you guys this time. All right, so set up your feet. So this time the right toes will be in just a little bit. It's like a 45-degree angle just to get that internal rotation of the back hip. All right, so start to deepen your left groin, lengthen that front leg. Good. Reach out with your left arm, lengthen the torso. At the same time, you're deepening that left hip crease, and then reach down for your block. Rotate the shoulder girdle open all the way, and then go ahead and bring the right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Good. So take another breath or so here. And then press your feet into the ground and then pop yourself back up. Okay. So I know sometimes and if you have the flexibility, this is possible for you. I'm going to do it on this side. Just watch me for a minute. So with triangle pose, it almost seems like we would just kind of bend to the side here. But anatomically, our back foot actually, the whole back leg needs to internally rotate a little bit. That way we can get the length in the torso, okay? And then the shoulders can actually still stack. That way we are not expanding this and closing off this side of the body, if that makes sense. We want to have equal balance, openness in both sides of the torso. So it's like Tadasana spine. All right, so we're going to do one more time on the wall, but this time in a different way. This time we're going to have, grab your block, we're going to keep the heel, not the foot, so the foot will not be parallel. We're going to do that little bit of internal rotation I talked about, okay? So right toes are out 90 degrees. You can place your block on the outside of the leg. Just the heel will be pushing into the wall. And see what kind of support that gives you. Right fingertips into the right hip crease, lengthen, reach, and then bring it down. And here, you might even lower your block at this point because this is your second time coming into it. Well, actually, I'm not going to because I can't get my shoulders as open as they were on the wall. So try to get to that spot where they were on the wall. That muscle memory, and then left fingertips up. So then I soften the top ribs. Take a few breaths here. Good. One more. And then press the feet. Pop yourself up safely. Same thing on the other side. It's fun to start exploring these postures in different ways, you know, different relationships to gravity and support. All right, so I'll just watch you guys as you set yourself up. So left toes are out. The right heel is against the wall, right? Yeah. Deepen the left groin. Lengthen with the left arm. And then go ahead and drop your hand onto your block. Rotate the shoulders open. Right fingertips up towards the ceiling. And your neck, you know, whatever is good for your neck. You could be looking straight, you could be looking down, you could be looking up at that right thumb. whatever makes your neck happy. Find how this is really a dynamic pose. So find the balance of the weight in your feet and the weight through the arms and the torso, and the length out through the head, having balance through the whole body, or seeing where there's more weight. See if you can balance it out. And then on your next exhalation, go ahead and pop back up. Total technical yoga term, by the way, popping up. Bring the feet back together. You can put the block off to the side. I just love the wall though, it's so great. We're gonna do dancer pose. So if you need a wall for this, you can do that. I'll do it from the side. So once you have your things off to the side and you come back to your Tadasana, we're gonna shift our weight to the left leg. Find your focus point on the ground, just any spot on the ground. Find your breath, pay attention to your breath. And then grab the right ankle. If you're good with this, you can try to grab the inside of the foot, because that's the mobility we're looking for. If this doesn't work for your shoulder right now, grab the outside. And then wherever you are, you can maybe start to press the foot into the hand and tip the body forward. You can extend the left arm, never taking your eyes off the focus point or the breath. And see if you can press the foot into the hand to bow the body. So foot comes away from the back of the body. Good, lift the chest. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring the feet back together. Is that a good one on your ankles, Barbara?
Yeah, it was fun. It was, I think it was the, I don't know, it was the balance part. It was actually, I think it was this calf.
Ah, your calf wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and do the other side. And staying just upright, just finding that balance is completely fine. You don't have to begin to stretch forward. So just see what works. So once you have your weight shifted to the right leg, see where you are on the left side of your body. So even here, I mean, I could grab my foot and stay here, but I want to start to open the chest. Even if I stay right here, maybe with my arm out, I'm good. I'm in dancer pose. No need to get fancy if we don't want to. If you're ready, push the foot into the hand and start to bow the body and tipping forward. The right ankle is going to wobble. You can have a micro bend in the knee. Good. Take another breath or two. Stay in here. You come out of it when you're ready. Excellent. And then just kind of shake it out a little bit. You can even do a little bit of, shaking at the waist here. We're going to come down into a squat. Do a couple things on the floor. So right now the joys of doing online yoga, I can see my neighbor and his dog out there, and he sees me just kind of sitting in my basement twisting like this. He has no idea what I'm doing. All right, separate the feet. We're gonna inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, come down to a squat. You're gonna come up on the toes, and that's fine. If you have the mobility in your hips, maybe your heels stay down. Maybe you're right here, but if not, that's all right. We're gonna take a minute here. We're gonna do a twist in our Malasana or garland pose. Shoulders away from the ears, nice and tall. Left hand's gonna come down, and it's gonna press into the left leg. As we open up and twist, right fingertips up. Exhale, bring that hand down. Same thing on the other side. Open up the knee, left fingertips up. exhale, come down. Go ahead and have a seat. Come into Dandasana. So legs straight out in front of us. And wouldn't you know, there's some really neat yoga poses that you can do sitting down that get to the psoas. So we're gonna do that too. All right, so inhale, lengthen first. Arms up. As you exhale, reach forward. Wherever your hands go, just do a nice forward fold here, calm the body, quiet the mind, drop the head. If you can reach the feet, you can grab the feet, but you don't have to reach the feet. Shoulders away from the ears. Take another breath or two here. Inhale, look up. Exhale, come back to sitting up. We're gonna take the right leg, we're gonna bend the knee. And what we're gonna do here is, it's called rock the baby. I don't know if that's a technical term, but that's what I always call it. That's what I've always heard it called. So we're gonna hug the knee and we're gonna hold the foot with our left hand. And we're basically just taking the leg in the hip socket and just doing circles and rocking the leg. We go clockwise and then we go counterclockwise. And by now your hips should really be pretty loose. So you might not feel too much doing this, but you still might. And then from here, we're gonna go ahead and put the foot down. Keep the knee bent though. If you can grab the big toe, grab the big toe. Otherwise, another option would be a strap. If you don't have a strap, just grab the leg. So get control of your left leg with your left hand. And with the right hand, we're gonna grab the big toe and we're gonna do bow and arrow pose. So it actually looks just like it sounds. We're gonna lift the knee back and we're pulling on the left foot as well. So knee back, pulling on the left toe maybe, or holding on with a strap. Find your breath here. Engage the lower belly in and up, lift the chest, and then go ahead and release. Other side, left knee bends, we hug the baby, rock the baby first. Both directions. And then bring the foot back down. See if you can get a hold of the right toe, left toe, and we pull it back. We pull the left foot back. I need to make my arm longer for this one, so the strap it is. And we pull that left knee back. Good. Yeah, even if you get a hold of those toes, Barbara, that'll give you a good calf stretch. Take another breath. Go ahead and release. So Coley, was the knee not coming up?
It was, I just wasn't sure which side to put my arm on that time.
Okay, got it. I'm like, you can get that knee up. All right, go ahead and lie down on your back. Let's do our bridge. So bring the heels close to the sitting bones. We can have our palms facing up. Shoulder blades are flat. And then we're gonna go ahead and lift the pelvis towards the ceiling. So press the inner edges of the feet, lift the hips up to the ceiling. And then from here, start to walk the shoulders towards each other. Maybe interlace the fingers underneath the body. Press. Don't let the knees hang open. Keep the knees resisting each other. Try to get the whole spine off the floor. Press the feet, one more breath. And then go ahead and lower the pelvis down. We're gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna give you the option to lift a foot when we're lifted. That's up to you. You can lift a foot, lift the other foot, just test it out. Test the waters if you'd like to. Before we go up this time though, I want you to tilt your pelvis forward. Be sure you have a nice arch in the lower back. That way when we go up, our sacrum and tailbone doesn't jam into the pelvis. It'll actually release, and then it'll allow us to go a little bit higher. So be sure you have that tilt in the pelvis. Get the heels back towards the sitting bones, and then go ahead and lift. See if you can lift a little higher. Walk the shoulders towards each other. And just take a few breaths here. Watch the belly go up and down. Lift the leg. Maybe. If you do one side, definitely try to do the other for that balance. Press the back of the body towards the front of the body. Release the glutes and see if you can press up without using just the glute muscles. And then exhale and release. Nice job. Take a breath here, neutralize the spine, and then go ahead and hug the knees and rock left to right when you're ready. Be sure the lower back is flat now on the mat as you roll back and forth. We'll do one more twist here and then we'll get into our Shavasana. So go ahead and bring the feet down when you're ready. All right. So, you know what? Yeah, your choice here. If you want to open up the legs into Baddha Konasana and have the knees hanging out to the sides with the soles of the feet together, you can do that. Or you can do a twist here. See what your body needs right now. If you're doing a twist, just simple twist. Drop the knees to the right, take a few breaths, and then drop the knees to the left. Try to stack the knees and keep the opposite shoulder towards the mat. And then even doing a little windshield wiper back and forth with the legs is really nice. Once you're done doing those things, you just separate the feet and just back and forth. When you're done, just come back to neutral, lying on your back. And I know you all have a block, so we're gonna put our legs up just for a moment, because we did that work, all that work in the hips. If you don't have a block, that's okay too, but I'm pretty sure you all have a block. Put it under the sacrum, the flat part, the very lowest part of the spine. Make sure the shoulder blades are flat. Right leg up, left leg up. And stay here for a few breaths. Legs are straight, legs are together like you have one big leg. Toes are touching as much as possible. Feet are flat, like you're standing on the ceiling. This is an especially good pose to do at the end of the day before you go to sleep. Get into that rest and digest mode. Drain the legs. And this way we're not working against gravity with the cardiovascular system. We're kind of just giving that part of our body a break. Very slowly, bring the right leg down first, and then the left. Lift off of the block, remove the block, and then try to lower as slow as you can back down to the ground. Straighten the legs out, bring the arms overhead, take a long stretch. Circle the wrists and the ankles. And when you're ready, get into your corpse pose or your Shavasana pose. You can cover up with a blanket, turn the lights off, whatever you like to do to prepare for this time for yourself. Separate the ankles. Let the feet hang out to the sides. This is your time to just let go. So you can even take a big, star pose here. Let the feet really be separated. Palms facing the ceiling. Fill the lungs deep with air, and then separate the lips and exhale. One more time. A nice loud audible exhale. And then begin to relax all the muscles in the face.